Architecture is in a really tricky spot at the moment. I think we're in a difficult juncture in our discipline, in that a huge proportion of the pollution on the planet comes from the built environment, and yet architects control such a small percentage of that. And I feel that architects are in a crisis about their agency and where they fit in this world. That's what's exciting about coming to study architecture with us at the RCA, is that we're really asking that question of you. We are asking you as students to shape what you think the future of architecture should be, not what we prescribe it to be. Together, we explore what we think the discipline is, and that might be material, it might be digital, it might be very built, it might be about unbuilding, it might be a form of social practice, it might be a form of civic engagement or activism. All of these things, I think, can and do exist in the practice of architecture. Here in the studio, we work together with students to explore that question in the way that they find exciting and invigorating, because they are the future generation of architects. Students come from all over the world, from all different kinds of undergraduate studies. And so it's an opportunity to reinvent or to kind of explore something new from an undergraduate education, and to really complement what was done in undergraduate, and to use the RCA as a safe space to be very experimental and to push yourself into new direction.
When you're studying architecture, you're asked to look at the project with so many hats on that you just develop these different lenses to look at the world. RCA is brilliant in the way that it has different ADS studios, and each of them have different directions that they explore. So there's something for everyone there.
Really loved it. I've had a really brilliant time. I think the tutors are kind of world class, and many of them are leading their own practices, from performance art to building buildings to, everything. I've really loved it. Jewellery, sculpture, printmaking, photography, they genuinely really do all feed into each other here.
When I talk to the technicians and I ask them what they're doing, they're like, oh, your students are always in the workshop, they're doing all sorts of things. They, of course, know all the 3D printers and the laser cutter and everything. But then they're also all over the workshops, all over the college. And that engagement with making and that engagement with technical knowledge only enriches everything. We have obviously students that go on to continue to do their Part 3, become professionally registered architects and work in practice actively. We also have students enter into film, set design, exhibition and curatorial practices. So it's really broad. I think there is a kind of methodological and intellectual rigor that comes with studying architecture, and especially at the RCA, that can be applied to many fields. And I think that ability to hold different forms of media, different forms of creativity, different forms of knowledge and research all together in a spatial understanding of the world is really powerful.